Parliament passes legislation to decriminalize gay sex and to amend the Constitution to protect the definition of marriage from legal challenges.
Our time on Earth is short, but our impact will be felt for generations to come. The time is now to change the way we live.
I'm a chef on a mission to cut out food waste in your kitchen.
To meet our needs and the needs of the future. Join us on this mission to make sustainability a part of our lives. Every Friday, exclusively on CNA. Next time on Japan Hour. Japan Hour, Saturday on CNA. Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation and Sipair Wheat Affairs are now available.
Singapore has been shaped over hundreds of years by a blurring of cultural and ethnic boundaries.
Singapore's success was based on its perfect geographical location.
Singapore, a city with a surprising wild side.
Our tiny island is really alive day and night.
Our commitment to improve bilateral ties on the basis of equality and mutual respect.
Imagine the Singapore you know, only reimagine it.
Singapore has a role to play in the AI world.
When you get AR and VR spaces, there's the opportunity to bring children and parents together to play.
Singapore gears up to develop this new frontier.
The sky is the limit.
Over 250 million young people are not in education, employment or training. But how you start in life shouldn't determine what you do in the future. In the last 3 years, Future Makers by Standard Chartered has supported more than 650,000 talented young people from low-income communities, empowering them to learn, earn and grow. Because where others see problems, we see potential. We're Standard Chartered, and we're here for good.
Updating this hour's top stories, concerns about China's growing nuclear arsenal. A US Pentagon report warns of more instability in the Asia-Pacific, with Beijing likely to triple its stockpile of warheads in just over a decade.
The challenge here is the more proliferation there is, the more concerning it is, the more destabilizing to the region it is.
China's top security body calls for a crackdown on so-called hostile forces in the aftermath of rare demonstrations in the country. Plus, weaponizing winter, NATO allies accuse Russia of using the colder months as a weapon of war as they commit to boosting aid to Ukraine. China is heralding a new era in its growing space ambitions. The nation has successfully launched the Shenzhou 15 aircraft in the last of 11 missions to complete its Tiangong space station. It's history in the making for the superpower. Shenzhou 15 lifted off in sub-freezing temperatures in the Gobi Desert in northwest China. 3 astronauts were on board and they have since docked. The trio are tasked with putting the final touches on the multi-module Tiangong station. They'll also be a part of the country's first crew rotation in orbit, living on the Tiangong for 6 months before being replaced by another group next year. All of this is the culmination of nearly 2 decades of Chinese crewed missions to space. The Tiangong will be the second permanently inhabited outpost in orbit after NASA's International Space Station. It's seen as an emblem of China's growing clout and confidence in its space endeavors. China has not been a part of the ISS and was officially excluded in 2011 after the US banned NASA from interacting with Beijing. With a sustained presence in Earth's orbit, Chinese space officials are now setting their sights further. They want to put astronauts on the moon within a decade. So here's a look at China's plan for space exploration. By 2025, it plans to collect asteroid samples near Earth and then a slew of targets by 2030. First, to launch a mission to Mars to probe asteroids. Another goal, an unmanned exploration mission to Jupiter. It also plans to land Chinese astronauts on the moon for the very first time, all within the next decade. And by 2035, it is aiming to develop and launch a 100-ton super heavy lift carrier rocket. 5 years after that, we could see a nuclear-powered space shuttle that will enable resource exploration and asteroid mining. There's also the intention to construct a space-based solar power station. And China aims to be a world-leading space power by 2045, one that can carry out large-scale explorations on planets and comets in the solar system and send astronauts to Mars.